kind of take a little bit more of a tamer, prospectual topic.
Excuse me.
And I think I'm probably gonna go with how I'd say how food does things to our emotions. It's really easy to see, like, if you ever had a family environment, whether it was your dad or mom cooking for you, or if you're, or whether you didn't have parents and when you had experiences, it was kind of, I guess, you think it was empty, but also too.
Fuck's sake.
But understandably so, you still had experiences, and you still have experiences every day, and where you could have put in some of those experiences, goddamn it, I messed up on the ramp, and I decided to open this because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so I'm letting the dog out, and I'm drinking this beer because it's what I want to do. It's what I want to do. And I usually only have one beer per day, so this is my one beer. So so thinking about how food and drink and affects our emotions. How does it affect our wants, our desires as to be fulfilled, as well as full and satisfied? It can become our passion, I guess, because it is sometimes a hobby for some people that actually do different things, and or it can be a profession for some people, and I think. Right. But seeing as how people try to seeing as how people try to make it their profession, it brings happiness to some people, and that affects their emotions, whether they see a good service or a good thing. Whether they just are looking for really good food and not that much presentation, whatever their let's say their elatement is fancied by.
You moron!
Whatever their elatement is fancied by, I think that sometimes it has everything to do with the way people grew up. It has the way people do different things, but also it has a lot to do with what their is in society sometimes. Because I mean, people can be used to a certain kind of experience in dining or different things like that. And I find it interesting to be able to see what a person finds comfortable. Some people may think that there's a fine dining and other people may not. I think that I just messed up. There's no chances of getting that motorcycle. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna get hit by that car. And there we go.
I guess this is how you like it, huh?
Alright, and yes, I was cheating a little bit because I wanted to get closer so I could get a good ring.
Citizens report K503 on Great Ocean Highway in Pacific Bluff.
But and also too, I've seen people do that. That's the reason why I
wasn't having enough fun already.
So. All right. But understanding the way food affects our emotions, the way that sometimes when kids would go to a mother and say, the way I would do it, basically, when I was a young kid, and mom would say dinner was ready, or dinner in 20 minutes, I'd get pretty excited. So, I mean, or even my dad would say dinner's ready, and he would have fish sticks and fries and something like that, or a fun treat sometimes for us to be able to have. Son of a bitch.
There he is! Man, there! Shoot them!
Dispatch, perfect sight. Moving in.
Units reporting a 148
So,
on
understanding that
Highway.
that the way people experience certain things, and the way people experience certain desires and different things like that, and sometimes we don't even know what we desire at all.
Suspect doing 50 miles per hour.
Realizing that
Silver
we
motorbike.
kind of want something awesome for ourselves to be able to put into words the next time we do something, or the next time we feel or experience something. Like that kind of thing we can't put into words. I know I just up my car.
Roger.
I think yep, I did. I don't have any turning. I don't have any turning. Alright, I'm gonna use this car. There we go.
Holy shit! Get out, buddy!
I'm trying to get to,
Officers report 505 north of the Los Zanzitos Highway.
trying to get to a certain part in your emotional, I'd say, palette. Trying to get back to a certain moment, but realizing that certain moment, the reason, or that certain reason why you did something, it's you felt, and you be able to feel a certain emotion whenever you were with a certain person, to be, I guess,
I have eyes on the target.
so not to hide from reality, but son of a bitch. All right. I know that that I let my anger out sometimes, and I let my I would say my life kind of was a little bit I'm not known to be able to push my anger out constantly, and once I've been pushed by someone, I need a release, or not really a release, but more of I need a release from anger, or an escape from anger, and when that happens, I kind of lose myself sometimes in certain mediums, and whether or not that person still wants to be around, I kind of, it's not like I need emotional stimulation or anything like that, but when I lack emotional support, I guess, I don't know, when a person doesn't define a relationship the same way that I define a relationship, that kind of hits a I'd say a valve for me sometimes, like when they're just going through the motions, I guess, and I'm the one that's pushing the emotional weight whenever they're supposed to be thinking that they should get back at someone for the things that happen to them. It kind of sets a vibe with me to be able to be a better person, and make sure that person doesn't, that person realizes that that they're not the only person in the world, you know? It's like, I try sometimes to be able to make sure that I can that it can push an emotional barrier toward people who I would find I say emotionally damaging, I guess. And in some ways, I try to not make the same mistakes twice. In most ways, I can not make the same mistake twice. I don't think sometimes that people realize how independent they could be. But I also realize that sometimes people can push for a certain want to be people can push for a certain want to be independent, I guess. And in some ways, food, I guess, can make you independent, and it can make you feel independent from the push or the constant grind from everything. Sometimes you can sit down, you can relax, you can enjoy your meal, and for a little while you're not really transported, but it transcends what you do while you're surviving, I guess. While you're grinding, while you're doing the big thing. It's like that's the big payoff sort of thing, you know? And it's like how did it taste? How did it smell? How did the aroma set the mood for you? How did the colors be able to send you to like a different
This is a no-fly zone.
in your own
Divert your
life?
course.
Son of a bitch. That was way too many missiles at once for it to be so goddamn rainy at that goddamn place. But yeah, I just put on my freaking elastic shoelaces. I'm not gonna say the brand because they probably don't want to be on this thing. I could put the reflective ones on. You know what? I'll say the brand, just because I kind of don't really care. They're called Expand, and I'm doing the inside the shoe kind of look, so I think it's kind of cool. But understanding what food does for people and how a meal could change your entire perspective on literally everything. But also too, it has a lot to do with your intelligence, your intelligence, and realizing that since everything is changing, I mean, sometimes people need to change their opinions as well. I mean, I'm not saying that it should change or align their opinions with mine. I'm just saying that and also too, it has a lot to do with I guess, I don't know, like, I mean, people don't give themselves enough credit sometimes whenever they're thinking about themselves, or they feel like I've seen women with doing different stuff, whether they feel as though they should be dignified or something like that in a certain way, and not show a certain amount of their body on stage or on I don't know. People just think that sometimes I think people think sometimes they could I don't know. You know, it's like there's so many differencing of opinions that could be brought together with food, and I think that most people would say that it's a chopper. I don't want that because I can't do wheelies on it, and I can't like the chopper doesn't go as fast, so it doesn't the chopper again. Alright, I'm just gonna do rocket. I think I see comment. That's right. Comment's really cool. That one. Alright, so understanding that that food can literally change your opinion about someone or something. And your ideals sometimes. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's like epiphany. I mean, but also there's people who are smart in certain aspects, but there are also people who are smart in other aspects. So like there's people who are good at science and technology and a whole bunch of different other stuff, and there's people that are smart about food. Like there are people that are smart, it's just where they apply themselves. Basically. There's people who are smart about different things in the world and socioeconomic trends and certain things that people, I guess, would not be so keen on sometimes after recognizing patterns, I guess. And people can recognize those patterns and use those things to be able to make some really, really amazing dishes. And I would know, I guess, because I've tasted most of them. And I'd say that I'm a pretty big food connoisseur. I'm not a Yelper or anything like that because I don't toot my own horn or anything like that, or try to make myself a little bit more, or make myself seem more complicated than I already am. Because there's also too realizing that there are actual people out there that like base their careers off of the things they say about the food that's in front of their plate. Because there are food critics. There are people who actually get paid to do those things. I'm not saying that they would ruin their career if Yelpers decided that they were food connoisseurs at some point, but I would say that South Park said it kind of the best, that everyone considers themselves a food critic once they're in front of a meal, you know? That's the metaphor that probably got through to me, I guess, and should have gotten through to other people, I guess. So, everyone fancies themselves some sort of food critic, and but I fancy myself the best food critic because I ate from what my mom would describe as the best food ever, and I would describe it as the best mom food ever. So I grew up kind of poor, but I had some pretty awesome dishes. They were amazing, and I'd say that if I didn't eat them, then I'd probably have rickets right now, because they were packed full of vitamins and minerals and nutrients and stuff like that. My mom really knew how to make sure that you basically got some meat on your bones. So like whenever I was in like 2nd grade, I freaking got Irish stew, and whenever I was in I don't know, just really awesome food. Really amazing food. And, I guess that I tried so hard to be able to understand food and the effect that it has on people, and the way that people actually try to, like sometimes people don't understand that you can make a healthy meal taste amazing, and all it takes is some very wow. All it takes is some very keen eye and a keen wait, I need to get out of here and right now. Because that thing's on fire. Alright, understanding different cuisines and different things like that can make people feel better about themselves and feel better about their situation in life. I guess it can make you feel like you're like basically $1 million, and I can say that sometimes like the difference between me, I'd say when I was younger, doing stupid shit and not doing stupid shit was probably the fact that my mom kept my attention with some really amazing food. And I'd say the difference of me doing, really the biggest difference of me doing stupid shit and not doing stupid shit was the fact of my mom putting so much attention in the food that she made for us, and the fact that I responded well to that, and I responded well to pretty much everything that she could do for me after that. So, it takes time to be able to prepare a meal and make something really truly amazing out of something completely mediocre, and it does take a fancy hand, fancy. I'm gonna go get a bottle of water. But understanding that that it had a lot to do with when I was a little kid. I realized how amazing things could be, and how high of a tolerance, but high of an expectation I have now because of that my mom decided to cook for me, and my dad was literally outside of the picture as far as a cuisine went, but understandably so, my mom made it like a good meal can change the way you look at the world. It really can, and it changed the way that I looked at the world. It happened every single night, and I was able to make certain changes in my life, and because of it, and I feel like $1 million sometimes whenever I get a good meal in front of me. I feel like an amazing person, so I'm not that amazing, so I'm gonna go get some money from ammunition. I mean, I understand that that people don't change their minds overnight, and they don't change their minds through a certain they don't change their minds through a certain kind of look at the world. I also say sometimes that I also say sometimes that that if I not looked at the world through the lens of my mom's cooking, then I probably look at it a very different way. Very differently. And when you don't have importance on what family you have or what friends you have or anything, she never asked for anything in return. And that truly makes me feel like I'm a part of something. Not just because of
You're looking good.
not just because of someone that is around or that is there to be there for me, but someone who actually puts the effort forward to be a good person and say, you know what, I'm here for you, and I'm here for you in this way. And I think, son of a bitch. I wish you could steal all the guns inside once it but understanding yourself and being able to understand, Bo, shut up. Understanding yourself is sometimes just a meal away, and in layman's terms, just around the corner completely, and also layman's food terms, completely just around the corner. All it takes is for you to be able to think clearly and concisely, and not give yourself any humps or I'd say interjections over a certain course of or period of time. Whatever you do and however you do it, realize that you do it the way you want to do it, and but also realize if that way isn't positive, then eventually you'll probably get told to do it a different way. But in the same sense, I see so many things and so many people that that don't have a good meal, that don't see a good meal, or don't see a good bonding experience, because that's what that meal can be, and it could be the same person every single day wanting to be able to push for your dreams instead of their own. And that's what that meal represented to me. So, that's probably the reason why I'm smart enough today to be able to do anything I want to do. Shut up, Bo! God dang it! But, that's probably the reason why I feel as though that I am a little bit more, I'd say emotional about things, is because of my foundation. And, my foundation was built on the fact that my mom could get good food, and also the fact that my dad could, for the most part, get a job, and he didn't afterwards, after a certain period of time, and also he got kind of fed up with stuff, and fed up with the way people were treating him, but also too, I mean, he had a responsibility, and not to say that I blame him for anything like that. That when you start to run away from your responsibility, people don't they don't exactly trust you anymore. You know, to be able to experience their responsibility. And I'm not saying that he doesn't do that anymore, or that he does that anymore. But in that certain situation, I felt kind of out of it, and I felt like you're the man of the house. You're the breadwinner, basically, of the house. If that responsibility is on your shoulders, then you should have it. And I think that sometimes if I would have been doing my job better as the man watcher, I guess, I think that it probably would have turned out the same way, because
hey, you hit.
Because I was getting no emotional support, and I realized I wasn't getting any emotional support, and I decided to leave it. She literally uttered the words, "I don't think it's gonna work out," and I literally hitchhiked away from that entire town. That's what I did, and I was tired of her bullshit. I was tired of her laughing at me and arguing with me and sending me to the hospital as a reward for taking care of her kids, being there for her, and being there as a venting station, basically, for her to be able to tell me what was going on wrong with her life, and me just not being able to say a goddamn word. So, in that sense, it made me a little bit more defensive in the next kind of person that I'll take under, and I'll take in. And
Sorry, lady. Not the person.
And for that chance, and for that thing, and for that time that she wasted for me. And it wasn't exactly time wasted, but it wasn't time invested into what I would actually call a family experience. I decided that that her kids were pretty much old enough to where they didn't need an influencer anymore. They needed someone who was going to caress and care. Not caress, I guess. Was going to caress their egos and care for their wisdom and care for their friendships and things like that. And they already had that. That was their dad. And whether or not he did a great job of it, I wasn't going to make up for his shortcomings as far as an emotional support, even though he was there monetarily sometimes for her. And also I was not going to sit there and act like I needed to get a job, and I had to get a job even though I was the one watching his children at the time. And also too, she gave me permission to spank them. I did, and it worked. Because they used to fight each other constantly. They used to bite each other's fingers, scratch each other in the face, and almost hurt each other in the eyeballs, and hurt each other, like punch each other in the mouth. And so, I mean, but also too, that stopped once I was able to basically make them start working together. And I, instead of basically spanking them and telling them that, oh, you did bad thing. No, it's you guys need to start working together, or else you're both gonna fall apart.
Fuck.
That was basically my whole thing, and my whole return on that. And
Forgive me.
and I'd like to think that it was a positive experience for them, but also too, I'd like to think that they had it in them all along, and they were just denying it from each other and themselves. But just because I help people, or that I hurt people, or that I spank little kids who kind of deserve it, and they gave me permission to. It just means that I don't have to do that. They were going through a serious situation, and a serious situation was the serious situation that I went through that no one was able to help me with. And no one was able to tell me that work together with your siblings, or else you're going to fall apart. Work together with yourself and your friends, and whatever friends you have, to be able to make sure that you can have a stable and secure life. And be stable and secure, and don't try to work off of the sensational or the emotions that are running through your head sometimes. But that was basically my foundation, is a good plate of food. And I don't think those kids had a lot of sit-down dinners with their parents. But I do think that they did have a lot of good meals sometimes, and they have stuff that they would put their importance on, or the fact that they had freedoms that other kids didn't, and because their family was of Jehovah's Witness, and first they go with their mom, who had recently gotten disfellowshipped from their entire religion. So basically no one was ever talking to her, and her parents were basically shunning her, even though they were trying to do things. And I basically was working a losing battle in any situation, basically. So, and also she was a victim of I'd say abuse, and early on in her years. I'm not exactly sure what she went through, but I know that she mentioned it to me a few times. And it's like, but that's the point too, is the only reason why some people would consider a strong family strong is if, not that they have an anchor, but everyone's the anchor. And that's the only way to a strong family and to a strong psyche, is if everybody is strong and everybody not acts strong, but eventually once you'll realize what you need to be strong and how you need to be strong to do it, it's a lot easier to be able to get through. And shut up, Bo! Gosh dang it! Shut up, Bo! I'm coming inside. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. That's not with me. I have a dog to bring inside because he keeps barking at everyone. Inside now. Inside now. Inside. Bo, treat? Get a treat? You want a treat? I'll get a treat. Go on, get a treat inside. Shut up, Bo. You little dumbass. You'll get a treat for barking at people. But you get a treat for being a doggy. Coming inside. Sit. So, Bo, calm down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Sorry. All right. Go lay down. All right. So, understanding in a way, the reason why I left and the reason why I thought that I should leave is because I was doing a good job. I was doing as good of a job as I could. And I was trying so hard to be able to keep things together when things were constantly falling apart, when I wasn't getting support from my significant other emotionally or the way that she thought that everything was just going to be a hobby for me. I couldn't stand by and act like I was going to be set aside and acted and put into a category of, oh, that's just Joe again. I got that too much from people who didn't believe in me, and I would make the food, so I tried to bring everything together, and even though that I was falling apart inside, and no matter what, I was falling apart because I wasn't in love. No matter what I want to say, no matter how I want to say it, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't doing the right things to be in love or to be in what I wanted to be.
It's insured. Don't be a dick.
I know that what I really wanted to do with myself was something that was a little bit more risk-taking, taking risks, and I think that that she basically went to a different route in her life because of it. Because of me trying to divorce and trying to get rid of the situation, I think that both of us started to see what was really going on in our lives and what we really wanted out of life, and what she should have known was I really did love her, and it really hurt when I wouldn't get any support from her for anything that I was doing, except for watching her kids.
Dispatch, in the suspect 20.
And because that's what a relationship truly is, and that's what a relationship truly should be. It should be a bond, and that bond was lacking in the sense that I couldn't see her. Like, even though she was right in front of me, I couldn't understand what she was trying to say, how she was trying to say it, because I was basically tuning her out and tuning everything that she was ever trying to get with me out. Tried every single time I brought her back from work or dropped her off from work. I couldn't handle the situations that she was pushing on me or pushing toward me, and I had a serious like a very, very serious feeling that she was cheating on me, and realizing that I can't put that much pressure on myself in a relationship. I can't put that much pressure on everything that I want, because we were married, so I wanted to be in love, and that's probably the reasons why. I'm going to be in love with the person that I want to be with, and not just because of its value, or I say different things, or that I do different things, or that that's the emotion that I feel every single time that I want to sit down and do a really good meal and have an experience with someone. But that's also at the same point. I don't expect too much out of them. I don't expect too much. I don't expect too much out of them. I don't expect too much out of the people who decide that who decide to me that they're, and that's, did I hurt that person? No, I didn't. Alright, cool. I just bumped off their bumper, I think. I think that what people will do, in a certain sense, is
reporting a pedestrian
is want
involved
to
accident
feel,
on
I say obligated
Great
to,
Ocean Highway.
Copy that. We're in the vicinity.
I'm out of range. God dang it. But and what I really wanted to do with myself, and what I really want to do with the things that I'm about, is make sure that I can make a better life for myself, and the more that I try to make a better life for myself, the more I try to make
We have a visual on the target.
the more that I try to make something something true and something real. And that doesn't mean I'm not what's the word, shallow or vain. Sometimes I do very much like a woman with a banging body, and I would love to be able to make myself into a person that was, like, I guess, sought after by a woman, I guess. But I wouldn't have made it through if it wouldn't have been for the small things that I did. And I wouldn't have made it after this thing, I think, had it not been for a few really cool people, and namely Jessica Negri. But I wouldn't have been able to make it through to a bunch of different things that are probably gonna make me into what I really want to do. And wait, what time is it? All right, okay. I don't expect people to see into what I want, or to how I want, or to how I want different things for myself. I mean, but I expect them to be able to look into their own life and see what they really need to do for themselves. And I tried so hard to myself to a person, and that I really wanted to be around, that I wanted to hang out with, and I had to do that. And I'm gonna do this completely upside down. No, upside down. Oh, God dang it. but that's what I wanted for myself. I wanted to be able to hang out with myself, to be alone with my own thoughts, and be able to
Well,
just
you don't see me driving?
not have to do something, you know? But also to be able to be alone with myself, and see through different veils or different people, how they were to each other. But yeah, that's and also, I mean, it's not like she has a great it's not like I said Jessica Negri, and it's not like she has any great life one way or the other. It's just I broke my leg in high school, and I don't much value walking or running right now. But it's like, I guess like in a sense, she was that voice for me. That voice that told me to keep running, or to keep walking, or to train whenever I wasn't walking, and say I want to walk. And it's that same I guess it's that same goal and that same tenacity that I had and that I still have to this day, that I'm able to quit smoking and I'm able to do something with myself. And I'm able to make something better because I can do so much with so little. So I know I can do much with if I'm given, or not given, but once I'm able to make myself into the person that I want to make myself, or the professional that I want to make myself into. And I don't expect like anything from anyone, but
Sorry, but I need this.
but I do
Get out the fucking
I do
way.
thank her, and I do thank her significant other for making her so happy and making me realize what relationships really are. It's a team. It's a people who support each other emotionally and physically, and and monetarily sometimes. And it is no questions asked because of the amount that they do love each other. And it made me believe in myself again, and it made me see that once I find that person that's right for me, I'm able to I'll be able to make I'll be able to make something right for myself, and I'll be able to do something right for the people that I want to be around, and the people that I want to be with every day.
Suspect last seen
So thank you so much, and
north, not Chilliard.
thank you, Mom. Thank you, Self, because I mean, thank you, Self, first and foremost, obviously. But thank you, Mom. Thank you, so many other people, for inspiring me. Thank you, Dad, and because I wouldn't have the creativity that I have now without my father. So, and I wouldn't have the foundation that I have without my mom. So and also the gall and tenacity without my dad, because my dad is extremely stubborn, and and I think that sometimes that it really spoke to me sometimes, the things that he would do and say, and it would like my dad would see the inconsistencies while my mom would actually see what is supposed to be consistent, I guess. My dad would look for inconsistencies sometimes, so much so into everything that he would ruin relationships so much. But it's like I don't blame them for the things or the people that they are. I don't blame myself either, because I know that it wasn't my fault or anything like that. I just know that the positive things that they accomplished and the positive things that they did for me are the things that push me every single day to be able to be the person that I want to be. So, and that's what a meal can do. That's what a bonding experience can do. And that's what I feel about pretty much every meal that I have, I guess. It can be an exciting, spontaneous thing, or it can be a traditional experience, or any way in between. So that's what meals and food have done for me, and that's basically the reasons why I don't stress eat, but I love food. And
what is this bullshit?
Food is awesome, and food is good. Food is good all the time. All the time, food is good. And that is the reason why I identify as paganistic, naturalistic, agnostic. Because I love food, and I don't feel like worshiping it though. So, because it doesn't deserve it. It deserves to be in my stomach and in my mouth and give me nutrients. And also in my digestive system and give me nutrients, and when it's done, it can leave, because there you go. So so yeah, thank you so much, all the people who inspired me, and there are so many different names to name, but I can't even name them. There's so many different people to actually thank, and that have actually got me this far, and it's a good thing that it has gotten me this far, because man, am I gonna do them proud. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be so awesome. And I just realized my inspiration when I was about 5 years old, or 5 or 6. I realized that I could turn it into, I didn't realize, but I asked myself, how can I turn this into something positive? How can I turn my frustration, my anger, my everything, and the way that I was able to do that was through food and bonding experiences. So thank you so much, food. Alright, and this has been Game Therapy, and if you ever do listen, thank you very much. And this is Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad, and I'm probably going to be doing like edited versions, not from here on out, but when I get better equipment. And no, I'm not going to do a PayPal thing. I'm not going to expect people to do anything, because no one is watching still. So oh, son of a bitch, I thought I had one freaking thing left. And no, I didn't. God dang it. Alright, cool. Let's see, let's just run around with a shotgun and shoot some shit. I'm just gonna shoot the cars.
Citizens report an attack on a vehicle near the Sonora Recycling Center.
I have 0 bullets across the board except for 3. Let me see if I can get a motorcycle. Motorcycle, motorcycle, where are you? I'm gonna shoot the driver.
Dispatch, we got a visual on the perp. In pursuit.
Okay.
Units reporting person resisting arrest close to the Sonora Recycling Center.
But thank you, food. Thank you, so many people, for being able to get me out of my funk. And,
the Sonora Recycling Center.
to get me on the path of a relationship that I want.
This is total bullshit.
And I can look forever and still find something to help myself get along. So so that's the reason why
What is this
I
shit?
find food very, very inspiring. Also, the experiences I have with different people, and the people that I decide to be around as well. And I gotta jump out right about now. Oh, it exploded. Awesome. Thank you so much for listening, if you ever do. This has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad. And no, I'm probably not going to put a title on anything unless I do edited stuff. So, if without just out there, realize that someone is always looking out for you, and that someone is not an omnipotent being, because they're not paying attention to everyone and everything at once, because they'd have to care for you just as much as they care for someone else. It's when someone decides and wants to be able to put your worth over theirs sometimes, and not just because for selfish reasons or selfish desires or wants for you to one day do the same thing for them, but just to be able to realize that there's less bad in the world than there is good. So I'm gonna do something fun. Realize that that you have so much potential, and all it takes is some really, really good bonding experiences to be able to take yourself out of this whole experience that is just YouTube and saying that, like, oh my gosh, I only hang out with certain people. It's like, I don't hang out with extremists. That's pretty much my only thing, and when you only have three things that are, when you only have three posts that and all are talking about something angry, realize that I'm not just angry. I'm not just there's that's not the only emotion that I have, you know. And also to realize that but there are so many new things out there. There are so many good things out there, and sometimes all it takes is to be able to have a good meal with someone that you trust, or someone that you could trust if you have an experience with someone that you could or would trust. Then realize that every experience is every experience, and I didn't do that on purpose, but every experience is ready for you to experience. If it's positive, if it's good, please expect more from yourself, or expect to doubt yourself constantly. Expect more from your life, or expect to be underhanded or stupid or considered stupid for your entire existence. Don't expect anything but the best from yourself, and you won't just get the best from everything. You'll get the best from everything and everyone. And if their best isn't good enough, then they need to work on themselves. But realize that everyone comes to their best in good time. Thank you for listening again, and this has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad, and I really do like that thing. I'm gonna make something like that, and I'm probably gonna I'm gonna make something like that. I'm gonna make something like that and put it on a mug and see if I can sell it. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm gonna put some sort of phrase on it, and it'll be pretty good. It'll be pretty cool. So I'm gonna see if I can actually buy something like that, or do, because I'm an artist, so I can draw pretty much anything. So thank you for listening, and this has been Game Therapy with Joe Bomb Squad, a live stream, the Game Therapy.